Hello, it's Mr. Navratil here. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to take a file from Autodesk Inventor and change it into a 3D printer file. So normally, natively, the type of file that we have in Autodesk Inventor is a .ipt file. That's just kind of a general file type for Autodesk, just a general part. And what we're going to want to do is take that file and change it into a STL file, which is the type of file that a 3D printer can then use to print off the piece. So this is a pretty simple generic game piece that I have here, and it's all modeled in Autodesk Inventor, and we want to change it and print it over to a 3D printer. So to do that, the first thing you're going to want to do is come up to File in the top left. We're going to click on that, and we're going to come down to Print. But we're not going to click on Print. We're going to click on the little arrow next to it, or wait for these options to pop up. Because we don't want to print a 2D piece of paper. We'd like to use this, where it says Send to 3D Print Service. We're going to click on that, and this box is going to pop up. So one of the things that you have to make sure is set in our options is that the output for this file, the STL file, is going to be in millimeters. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to come over to this little button here. It says Options, and then another box pops up. The only thing that you have to worry about in this dialog box is where it says Units. It might be on inches, it might be on centimeters, might be on any of these. You need to make sure that it says millimeter. Once it's clicked on millimeter, you can hit OK. Why do we do that? Well, because the software that takes the STL file and creates what we call G code is going to transcribe that in millimeters. So if it's not, it might end up unproportional on our 3D print bed. So once that's all good, we hit OK. And then a box is going to pop up asking us, well, where do we want to save our STL file? I'm going to leave the name the same that it is. You can save it where you'd like. I'm just going to go and put it on the desktop here. And then we're going to hit Save. So a couple things are going to happen. The first thing that you do when you're making an STL file in Autodesk is it's going to pop up with this web page. This web page is purely spam. There's no reason to actually look at it or to open anything. You can just X out of it. If we minimize and go to the desktop, you can see here is the file that we just made. Depending on what software you have on your computer, you might be able to double click on it and open it up. We do have a 3D builder software on this, so we're able to see what this STL looks like. This is going to be very similar to what's like when it gets 3D printed. And that is how to make an STL file in Autodesk Inventor.